What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Saturday morning. Last night went out with my primo and we threw chancla. We partied though. And I'm gonna tell you right now, what time is it? It's 11:46. I've already been to the gym. And my primo ain't answering his phone. Sheesh. I don't know if he's just shining me on or he's still knocked out. Once I shower, I'm going to stop by his pad and check up on him, make sure he's all right. Before I get into the video, this fool was drinking some shit called an old fashioned. I'm sure you guys know what it is. I really don't drink liquor. I just stick to beer. Now I just really stick to Trulies. I know. But that shit, we went to this place and he was like, "Hey, primo, get an old fashioned." I said, "Well, what's in that?" I had already been drinking margaritas, right? And I already had 5 margaritas down, right? And we went to another spot and he's like, "Get an old fashioned." I said, "What's in that shit?" As soon as he said whiskey, I said, "Homie, I've been drinking tequila." And he's like, "Oh, well, get whatever you want." I said, "Nah, I'm gonna roll with you." So he got his old fashioned. Hey, Holmes, let me tell you something. I drank half of it and I tapped out. Strongest drink I've ever had in my life. Didn't enjoy it. Then I went to beer. Then I went to Truly's. I actually didn't drink that much because the margaritas were they had me, right? So anyhow, today's video, I saw a comment, right? And this dude said, and it had to do with something. The video was titled something. Maybe I'll put it up here somewhere. I think it goes over there, if I remember. But it had something to do with it was titled something like Raza, Blacks, Whites, and the Big Four, something like that. I know the Big Four was in the title, right? And somebody, and this is a new person to the channel, left a comment saying, you were just trying to make the Mexicans look good and make the blacks and the whites look bad. When do I ever do that? How do you look good in prison? I don't glamorize that lifestyle. So I went back and I watched the video and I was like, where did this happen? Like, in there I talked about the Big Four, as far as you guys know. If you go back, I didn't go into details, didn't name any of the organizations because I don't do that, right? And but I talked about how the organization that of the Big Four, that the black organization, how basically that, they kind of, and it's the truth, they lost a grip on the black population. And I talked about the ones, the organization that the whites fall under for a long time. Now it's not. Now it's not the case. But for a long time, they lost their hold on the whites. They still had shooters. Believe that. They still had shooters. But you had groups like the skinheads come in who saw things differently. I'm not going to go into their stuff. I've spoken to them, and in there, and I know the grievances, we'll call them, that they had with some of the ideology. But anyways, I don't see how that is speaking negatively of either group. It's a reality, and things have changed with them releasing everybody back out to the yards. People are able to be there, and it's different when people are there and you see them in person, and people decide, you know what, that's what I want to flock to for whatever reason, right? That's their thing. But it did just, it like struck me like I don't know, like, listen, there's nothing glamorous about being in prison. When I speak of the raza, you gotta understand, it's a level of discipline amongst them. There is a level of organization, right? In everything that they do. And with some of the other groups, well, what the other groups, they weren't able to maintain that. They were able to maintain, the whites were able to maintain it to a degree, within hundreds of dudes. And these dudes were not playing around. They were no joke. They'd smoke you. But it was just the numbers weren't as big, right? I remember hearing a sergeant one time on the yard. I think that dude was a rookie he was talking to. And I overheard him saying, whites make the best knives in the system, but Mexicans are the most deadly with them. And again, I think it's one of those where the number of attacks with knives that the Mexicans have, it's just, there's so many, there's, especially the vatos from down south, raza from Southern California, everybody knows when you're in the joint. I mean, hey, Holmes, if you gotta, you made a mistake, they're gonna whack you. Doesn't mean you're done, but that's just how they're gonna tune you up. That's your check. If you survive, you're gonna come back and you're gonna put in work, and there it is there. So the volume of stabbings, as far as the raza from Southern California, there's no other group that has as many stabbings, because whether they're wrecking you or checking you, you're going to get some steel put in you. That's just the game, right? Other groups don't do that. They discipline their people different. And I talked about that before, where, there was an incident where it wasn't an offense that warranted going to war, right? But it was something that a black dude did, and so I had to go over there and speak to his his mouthpiece and tell him, like, hey, Holmes, this whoop whoop, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna have him. You're gonna see him tomorrow, exercising for the whole entire yard period. And if I can get him out here 2 yard periods, he's going to be exercising, running laps the whole time. And I said, all right, cool. Because I understood that was the way that they were going to discipline their people. And I remember talking to one of the homies, and I was like, yeah, homies, they're going to take care of it. And they were like, also, they're going to go on lockdown. And I said, nah, this is how they're going to do it. And he's like, what the fuck? And I was like, you cannot expect everyone to do what you do. There's different degrees. They discipline their people different. Another time, and it might have been the same incident now that I'm thinking about it. It had to do with the way a person, or a black dude, was speaking. And the homie felt it was disrespectful, right? And I remember telling him, hey, look, Holmes, let's spin a lap right now. And as we're walking the lap, when we got closer to where the blacks are at, I told him, hey, do me a favor, Holmes. Don't say nothing right now. Just listen. As we walk through this area, just listen. And we did that. We went through, I'm listening and he's listening. And I was like, did you hear how they talk to each other? And he's like, that shit's disrespectful as fuck. I said, to our ears, it is. Because we don't speak the way they speak. So if they're speaking to each other like that, don't take it personal, Holmes. Because if that's the case, you're going to want to be stabbing everybody. And people are going to want to know, what the fuck was this over? And when shit jumps off, oh, this sensitive ass vato right here, his ears got hurt. And then his feelings got hurt. And then he dragged us in. I tell you guys all the time, man, as an individual, nobody means shit in there. Everyone is expendable. Right? But going back to the original question or statement of trying to make one group look good and 2 other groups look bad. We're talking about convicts, man. Like, we're talking about a lifestyle that is not glamorous. How I can only tell shit from my point of view, right? I can tell stories from my point of view. I'm not going to bullshit you or anybody, right? But I don't see how in any way that's putting them down. People do things differently. And that's fine, right? But I do understand that everybody behind those walls, it ain't easy. Whatever they do or however they discipline their people, because you're still stuck in there with a bunch of angry men that you don't know from day to day what they got in mind. You know, I remember talking to homies at times, and, you know, I would ask them, hey, Holmes, are you strapped up? Like, nah, Holmes. Well, do you have a strap? Yeah. Where's it? I got to put away in the pad. And I'm like, well, do you always leave it in the pad when you come to the yard? Well, yeah, Holmes, you know, unless I know something's going on. How you going to know? How are you supposed to know what your enemy is thinking? How are you supposed to know what your enemy is plotting? It's different when there's an incident and then we know, like, oh, nah, we can't let that slide. Well, yeah, then we know that, right? But what if they wake up and they're like, hey, you know what? Fuck these dudes, man. The hell? How? What good? Your knife ain't gonna jump out the motherfucking cell into your hand. Anyways, man, somebody had said, go ahead and just rant and just talk. And so I kind of did that today. Gave you that. It's a gorgeous day, man. Hopefully it's gorgeous where everybody's at. But I know over here it's beautiful today. I might even hit the beach. I don't know. But I definitely got to get in the shower. I got to get some breakfast in me. Shit. Lunch now. It's already noon. Before I go, thank you for the support. And if you haven't already, please go over to the Food and Fallon's channel. Subscribe. We're going to be doing some stuff over there soon, really soon. But I would say give it about a month because we want to redo some stuff over there. We want to have better quality for you guys. We're going to be having some big guests. And we want to make sure that we have a few things already lined up, already recorded, ready, so that, you know, you guys will see. We're going to be doing some things. Anyways, thank you guys for the support. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.